let's test this out one more time. How's our lag now?
Yeah, it looks good. How's my leg?
Oh,
There
there
is
is
no
zero
lag.
lag.
We're fucking on,
All right,
boys.
easy.
Dude, let's okay.
Easy, let's
Let's
go. We're
let's
back to
pretend.
it.
Yeah, this the last
Technology.
5 minutes never happened. All right, you ready?
Sure, sure.
Okay,
Hello, Jonathan
Jonathan.
Vigil. It's so exciting to
Hello,
see
guys.
you.
What's
It's.
up? This is the first time talking to you today. It hasn't been a bunch of technical difficulties.
I
Oh,
think we just ruined it.
we're not very smooth like that. But dude, what I was saying before the internet cut out there was we spoke to the boys in Bleed From Within the other day, and during the conversation, we just realized how unbelievably excited we are for this tour because it's all of our favorite bands and the nicest people all rolled into one package.
Oh, dude, I can't wait. This is such a cool, like, first off, we're going back to Australia and we're headlining. We're playing over an hour. Like we were so lucky to do the Parkway tour, and we played for 30 minutes, so like now we're able to like go out, do a proper headline show and like have our fans come out and it's going to be amazing. So on top of that, it's going to be Bleed From Within, who are our Scottish lads, like great dudes, like
The
took them out on
best.
our American tour and it's like they've never been to Australia before and it's like it's going to be so cool to like be like, hey, like this is, look how cool Australia is, like you need to come here more, like look how fun and amazing and awesome the shows are, like you got to come down here. So hopefully that sparks something for them to be able to come out more and do more with in Australia.
And you guys would know. You guys have been here a lot of times, and you guys have been coming here for a long, long time. I think it was even like one of the first times, or maybe even the first time you guys ever came to Australia. And this is obviously before you guys had the money for your own hotel rooms, because I think you crashed at my buddy's in Mark My Words house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. We've been very fortunate, man. We've been able to go to Australia, six, seven, or eight times at this point. I don't even know the exact number, but like, um, it all started a long, long time ago. I became friends with Jonah when he was playing guitar and Bleeding Through back in the day, and we just became mates. And he was like, "Hey, like, back before our record even came out, like somehow I have no idea how it like leaked in Australia. Our first record, Fear and the Fallen Ones, was out, and people were like messaging us like, "Hey, you guys got to come to Australia," and it's like our record's not even out yet. What are you talking about?
I
How are
can
we? How do
confirm
we have
that
fans on us?
I had Shiner before the album came out. I'm like, how? Like
Yeah,
that's
and I was like, how were people across the world fans of the band when like we can
Jonah
barely get out
leaked
of our
that shit for
city and play?
sure. Jonah
Uh,
leaked it
per-
for sure. Yeah.
he probably did, but no, it actually helped us a lot, so basically, we were mates with Jonah from Bleeding Through, and he goes, "Hey, my band, I Killed the Prom Queen, who we're all fans of, was like, we're doing our farewell tour, 2008, 2009, or whatever it was, and it was us, the Red Shore, Bring Me the Horizon, and I Killed the Prom Queen." And he was like, "Yeah, we want you guys to come open the tour." And we're like, "Dude, like we don't have the money for this. We've barely afford to go out on tour in America." And I was like, "Do you mind if we do like a headline tour after to help like recoup some of the costs?" Like, so basically, we did the Prom Queen tour, and then we just circled back and just did, the same tour, like in like a just in a van. It was wild, but that was with Abandon Abandon All
Ben and all hope.
Hope.
Yeah,
Abandon All Hope and the Broderick. I don't know if you remember that band.
I do.
Um, but
God.
yeah, we did a headline tour out there with them, and dude, it was amazing. From the jump, Australia was just people were singing along in Australia to our music before they were in America. So from the jump, we've just been embraced by, Australian metalcore, and it's just grown exponentially. And like I said, very long-winded way to say like it's a place where we've been fortunate enough to go to so many times where some bands in their entire career never get down there,
Sure.
and we're fortunate to be able to go back and call it, a second home for us. So
Second home.
excited
And
for that.
you guys are also you were something different as well. There was around the time where you guys started to rear your heads and pop off, especially in Australia. There was a huge like metalcore was really like starting to explode. Like the the standard sort of metalcore, heavy parts, clean choruses, heavy parts, clean choruses, breakdown. And then there was a lot of like your straight up hardcore, your beat down hardcore, bands like Verse and Comeback Kid were massive. You guys came out and it was it was like the best of both worlds because it was something so different where you had the heaviness, you had those like metallic leaning moments, you had the breakdowns and that straight up hardcore approach, but your sense of melody came through a guitar approach that, unless people were fans of bands like Shy Hullet and stuff like that, they probably wouldn't have heard of that before. And it was perfect example of right place, right time with the right element.
Dude, that's exactly what it was. Like we were very lucky. Like we when we started playing, we took our biggest inspirations were Comeback Kid, Misery Signals, and Bury Your Dead. Those are like the three bands that like our band like we all could agree on that we all loved, and we were just wanted to write music that was like heavy and melodic. And that Fear and the Fallen ones, that was right place, right time. Like you said it, man. Like it just was um such a cool record. Like it just came out, like the first song, Provoke, it just comes out all instruments, all just like screaming off the bat, just like bam, there it is. Like we wanted to make a statement with it. And we were fortunate that the rest of the world was embracing it and was like, oh, this is like, metalcore, back in late two late 2000s, early, 2010s. It was like that was what was the forefront of music. And we were fortunate to be a part of that and to not pioneer it, but like be, in the forefront of that kind of music. And um
Oh, dude, no,
it's
you guys were absolutely in a larger scale, because obviously the bands that were doing the melodic thing were a little bit more sort of niche. But you guys definitely sort of paved the way for bands to do that sort of stuff. To
I
the
think you're
heavy.
being humble too.
Mm.
You're not giving yourself the credit that it wasn't just right place, right time. You also had impeccable songwriting. You have a voice that like others who are great in the scenes look up to. JT Era is like our homeboy, and he always references you as being like, "Oh, that's the guy that I wanted to sound like." I think,
sure.
and to then also come back with returners and be like, "Oh no, we're just going to continually elevate each time."
Mm.
You're being humble, which is a good thing, but
Oh,
also we're not going to accept it.
well, sure. Well, I appreciate it either way. And like I said, we didn't know anything else. Like we just wanted to go out and just play music and play shows and have energy and just do what we did to the best of our abilities. And if people wanted to be a part of it and they wanted to vibe with it and they wanted to continue on with it, then they could. And it worked out really well for us. And we were just um maybe right place, right time is not the proper definition of it, but like we were um lucky to be able to have a lot of eyes on us, like that's
Sure.
that's something that people do a lot. Like you get these eyes and you get this attention, and you can either go two ways with it. You can either, fumble it and do something for the wrong reasons, or you can do something that is like important to you and like special to you, and like hopefully these people connect with it. And so like we were able to take what we were doing and have this attention, have these eyes on us, and kind of just go with it. So um it worked out really well, man. And I think the biggest thing for our band is just being really really honest, really like sincere about the things that we say. And at times that it's vulnerable. There's things that are tough topics for someone to write about, to talk about, to sing about. And that's being embraced more and more every day. Like there's more music now coming out. There's more like, especially in metalcore, there's stuff that's really like honest and open. And before, like that was like almost taboo. Like it was like you didn't want to talk about those things. But now, because it's 2025, and mental health is such a big component of the world now, and society, and it's like those things aren't taboo to talk about anymore. And um so like we kind of put ourselves out there, and we were very fortunate that people reciprocated in that way.
There's
Like
also
we weren't just a band that people were like, they would hear it and they'd be like, oh, that band's cool. It was like, oh, this band is like, I fuck with this band. This band's like my favorite band. So it was like there was no like half in, half out. It was like all or nothing. Like you didn't like it or you loved it. And there was just that was how we grew. Like because people were loved our band and they just never stopped loving our band. So we were very fortunate to be riding that wave back in the day.
There's also another element to you guys as well that we haven't touched on yet, which was, and it's been there since,
Sex appeal.
yeah, absolutely, like stunningly handsome
I can
gentlemen.
assure you that's not part of it.
Dude, I don't know. Beards are really popular now. Like, look at
I
this.
mean, I got
This is the
yeah,
trifecta
like
of hot right now.
sure, yeah, let's do it.
No, but I think that one of the most important aspects of you guys. Now, obviously, you said that you touch on hard topics, you deliver the music hard, but the thing that drew me to you guys more than anything else, other than the melodic element to the guitars that were in there and your really sort of wall of sound voice that you've got, is the massive the massive amount and focus on positivity in your music. Like positive hardcore has always been a big thing, right? But around that time, it wasn't necessarily the go-to because it wasn't the topic that would, I guess it wasn't the clickbaity topic of lyrics back then. You guys had a really strong sense of positivity and keep pushing, keep trying. Life's swinging hard, but I'm swinging harder, like, and that is also something that has not left your band. And I think that that's something that definitely gets a little bit sort of understated when people talk about you guys.
Sure, and I think there was a distinct point in writing, like when we were first starting out. I was like, if I ever have the opportunity, if I ever have the chance to reach people, to talk to people and be on a platform or be on a pedestal, like I want to have something to say that is going to be helpful to people. Like it's so easy to go up there and be so negative and say, screw this, fuck that, da 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 da, da, like get pissed off. And like, don't get me wrong, we have a couple pissed off songs where like, I realize it's not, life isn't all sunshine and rainbows. There are things that piss you off and there are things you have to vent about. But like the overwhelming majority of our songs are all like, you got to get through it. Like, because I've been in a place where like life's been really tough, things have been really hard. And I'm like, if I can be that voice or that inspiration or that little like turning point in someone's life where it's like, hey, things are tough, like but like I know you can go through it. And like maybe not everyone has the parents or the friends or whatever, the family or whatever to like lift them up and be like, hey, you got this. Like sometimes they have to reach out. And I think that's a lot of what this scene that I grew up on is. A lot of it was like, hey, like you're never down and out until you're done. Like when you're no more, that's when it's over. But like until then, you're never out. Like, like, and I was always like, I want to be something that has, I want to be someone that has something to help drive somebody. And if I can affect someone's life in a positive way, even if it's like the most minute detail, like I've had messages and I've talked to people who, we've impacted their lives in such a way where they were like, like basically a homeless junkie at some point and they've turned their life around and they're now, the complete opposite. And like that stuff is like, that is so wild. That is such a crazy thing. And like, I'm so honored to be a part of that. And like, that's what I set out to do and what I set out to be. And, like, that's always the aspiration, but whether that actually ends up happening or not is, that's not up to you. That's up to the fate. And, but I've also had messages where people are like, oh, hey, like, I saw you dealt with this, like, what you got any advice, like very like casual, easy conversation. Like, so it's like, I've kind of run the gamut on those kind of things. And like, it all boils down to like, I made a choice back in the day where I was like, I want to affect people in a positive way and not in a negative way.
Oh yeah.
This is gonna be just a on the spot question. Do you have a lyric that you think like this is the lyric that resonates with the most people? Like I'm sure you had a ton of people come and show you like tattoos they've got based on you. Have you got a lyric that you've written that you'd be like, that's the one that hit people in that way?
I mean, I think that life's swinging hard, but I'm swinging harder. I don't think I thought it was going to be what it was. Like I
That's like
had
one of
no
the all-time
idea.
breakdowns.
It is, yeah.
Of all
Dude,
time ever.
Yeah.
it really is. And I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. The rest of that song is not very good or very fun to play. Like that song kind of sucks, but that part is so sick. It's like we can't not play that song because that part is so insane. But like,
Yeah.
that song is not a very good
We need
song.
the
Like,
2025 remix.
It's also
yeah,
this goes back to what we were talking about before, though, with the lyrical content and message. It's also like become one of the biggest breakdown call outs in the scene ever. And it's also
yeah,
not a fuck you or fuck this shit up, or it's not a cheesy move this pit. You know, like
sure,
it's
yeah.
something that is like it's the most, it seems like the most plain sort of lyric and line, but it's so
It's in the
It,
delivery.
yeah, it's just it's
dude,
so relevant.
it just happened. Like we were very, you know, some of our first like times when our band really got there was, between the lines, the what do you stand for, like, and that was something that just happened. Like at the time, it was actually going to be twice as long. It was like, so instead of what do you stand for, it was 10 syllables. It was like da 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 da, and then we're like, that's way too long. Da, da, like whatever, trimmed it down, and then I just go, the producer was like, just go in there and just say the first thing comes to your mind. I'm like, okay. And I just like put on headphones and I was like, what do you stand for? And that ended up being what
That's
it
it.
was. Like it was like not relevant. Like it wasn't something that was pre-written. It was just, it happened. And we've always been a band that's had big, like open one-liners, like,
Yeah.
and that like unites the crowd so much because like,
It's
sure,
like
there
the
are
Arnold
drummers in the
Schwarzenegger of hardcore.
but like, sure, there are drummers in the
What do you
crowd.
stand
There's
for?
but yeah, there's people in the crowd who play guitar or play drums or play bass, but everybody can has a voice. Everybody can sing. So that is something that unifies everybody in that place. I'm sure there are people that come to our shows and are like, obsessed with how Andrew plays drums, especially with one leg, like da 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 da. There's people who come and watch Chris and Zach like you noodle around. There's people who watch Jim, sing and play bass, da da da. But like everybody can say, what do you stand for?
Yeah.
Everybody in the crowd can say, life's swinging hard, but I'm swinging harder. Everybody can sing, all my life. Like everybody can do that. And that's something that we've been very lucky to, not lucky, but like that's been such a big part of our band. It's like
Yeah.
having those moments that everybody can interact with, because when you involve everybody, there's more of a chance for people to absorb and connect with it,
And feel a part of it, sort of thing. But
Of course.
that's something I wanted to touch on as well. With we talked about the lyrical meaning and all that sort of stuff, and the delivery, the sonic delivery of you guys, but also when you guys started putting in things like the clean vocals and stuff. How hard was that to sort of work that in with a band that everyone thought was like, oh, they don't need this to sound melodic, and obviously hardcore kids not necessarily wanting that, in a sonic or an audible sense, at face value. How did that sort of, has that become easy for you guys, and it's just something that has become a part of you now? And like, was it hard to start working that stuff in the first place?
Well, so the first time we had any kind of singing, we put out Fear and the Fallen Ones, we put out Returners, we signed to Epitaph Records, and we're going to be putting out Get What You Give. Obviously, it was still a work in progress. And we hired Jeremy McKinnon of A Day to Remember to produce the record with us. And so we were in the studio, and he's a genius, dude. He's such an incredible songwriter. Like he just has hooks and has melodies, and they just hit him, and he just goes, and it's just like, dude, and he just nails it first try. So he was in there, and he was like, I'm hearing something like this for the part, like, and it was Dark Horse. It was the I'm not scared, part. And we were like, I don't know, like this is kind of a lot for us. And then he was like, just go in the booth and try it. If it works, cool. If not, it's literally not a big deal. And so I went there and I sang it, and the second I did it, it was like, whoa, like this sounds awesome. Like all of our band, everyone in the band is a fan of all kinds of music. I myself, my favorite kind of music is pop punk. Like that's my favorite kind of stuff. Like I grew up, on No
Represent.
Effects, and yeah, I grew up on No Effects and Bad Religion and Rancid, and like they're not like pop punk per se, but they're like punk with like melody, and then like,
Yeah.
like it's catchy to sing along to. And then like, now it's like, bands like The Story So Far is like, it's like one of my favorite bands. Like, dude, that it's incredible. So it's like, I listen to that stuff, and like we all love that kind of stuff, like, and so we're like, why would we be so one dimensional and one sided when we are fans of so much more? Like, why pigeonhole our band to fit this mold, to fit this sound, to appease these people who, if they don't like it, they don't like it. It's not for them. I'm sure bands that I have loved, you know, do stuff that I'm like, oh, I'm not into this. Like, but I'm never gonna not. It's never gonna take away from the records that I do love or the songs that I do like, and I'm still gonna see them. I'm still gonna support them, and whether it's the same or different, like that's in the eye of the beholder, and that's what's so cool about music. It's such an expression. It's so much personality, and it's who you are. It's a snapshot of that moment in time. Like we could never write Get What You Give again right now because we wrote that in 2011. It came out in 2012. Like I'm a different person than I was then. We're all different people.
Yeah.
We've evolved and changed, and that's not a bad thing. It's just like we're in our late 30s, early 40s now. It's like I'm not that same kind of angsty, kid who just wants to be screaming everywhere. Like I want to have songs that I vibe with, that I feel, that I like emotionally connect to, songs that I'm on stage and I'm a representative of what I am and who I am and what I want to sound like and what I would listen to. And I think that's the most important part of being in a band. That is what it all boils down to, is you have to be a fan of what you do. You can't try to sound like your favorite bands. You can't be like, I'm going to start a band. Parkway Drive's my favorite band. I'm going to sound exactly like them, because your voice might not lend yourself to how Winston sounds, like you might not be able to play guitar like Pig, like you can't be that band because it's just forcing yourself to do something else. Like you have to be what you want to be, what you're feeling and who you are. And I think that at the end of the day, when you put a record in, well, when you put a record in, it doesn't even exist anymore. When you listen to a record on Spotify, you have to listen to the songs and you have to be proud and you have to be like, would I listen to this if I wasn't in the band? And if the answer is no, then why are you doing it? Do something that you would listen to, something that you're proud of. And whether people agree with you or connect on those songs, like that's up to them. Like that's not up to you. Like you should never go into writing songs and writing music into being like, this is going to make us the biggest band in the world because we're copying these big bands. It's like, no,
we have
like
to write something that other people are going to like.
Exactly. And that's a terrible mindset. Like you can't go being like, we need to write what people are going to expect from us and what they want to hear and what it's going to be like number one and do this. It's like, no, like we're going to write what we're going to write because we want to do it. We have to play these songs day in, day out. Like people can listen to records whenever they want. They come to a show every once in a while, but like you are living these songs. You are living this music. You are living these lyrics. You have to be involved and you have to want to listen to it. And I think that's the biggest distinction for how it is, how it was and how it is, like I was saying, we're not the kids from 2008 that wrote Fury and the Fallen Ones. Like that record's awesome. And it's always going to hold a special place to me and, to you guys and to the fans that love it. Like that is a snapshot of how we were in 2008. But this is, 17, 18 years later, like, dude, there's no way I could write that again. Like that's just not who I am.
Yeah.
You can't recreate nostalgia. You can't go back to nostalgia because then it's not nostalgia.
Yeah, then it's just trying to rehash like I think here's a problem with bands. Like so they put out a record without expectations. A band is not it's brand new, first record. They're not trying to appease to somebody. They're not playing to their fans because they don't have fans because they don't exist yet. So they're writing a record that is just for them. And that record hits, right? People are into it. People are expecting it. They're excited about it. It's like, okay, like what we do now is do we continue doing this even though we're not this anymore, we're this. It's like you have to evolve. And it's like if you don't, people are gonna get bored. Like, do you want to hear, you know, this is gonna be our what, our seventh, our next record is gonna be our seventh record. It's like, do you want us to try to rehash something? Like, do you want us to
Yeah.
try to be this again? It's like you're almost damned if you do, damned if you don't. It's like if you do evolve and change and grow and try to experience new things, it's like you're gonna have the haters who be like, oh, I like this when they did this more. But if it's like if we just put out the same record we just put out the last record, they're gonna be like, oh, dude, this is boring. Like it's the same
I've heard that
shit. They're
before.
just rehashing it because
Mm.
this is what they think we want to hear. It's like you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. So if you're not doing it for yourselves, then why are you even doing it?
Do you think in the current state of heavy music, from our perspective, like we see the fans, we have a direct correlation to the fans through what we do. And I feel like heavy music lovers have become more accepting of bands doing whatever the fuck they want. Because you come from a more traditional hardcore start, have you noticed that change over time? And as you've grown and your fan base has grown, have you found the audience to be a bit more accepting of whatever you guys want to do? Or do you still have those diehard, if it's not metalcore, fuck you mentality type people?
I mean, there's always gonna be those kind of people, and like I think if you're off a band, you're just off a band, like you're just over it. But like the way the heavy music industry is now, there's so many bands that are you can't pinpoint them. Like there's bands like
Mm.
Bring Me the Horizon. Like what genre is Bring Me the Horizon? Like you couldn't name a
Yeah.
genre because they're just writing music that is sick because that's what they want to do. And
Yeah.
there's always going to be people that are like, play, play
Pray for plagues.
pray for plagues, whatever. And it's like, dude, it's like, do you really want to hear that, dude? Come
Yeah.
on, they wrote those when they were like kids in Sheffield, But it's like, it's. I think we're at a really cool time in music right now, in rock music, especially. Like, there's bands like Sleep Token who, have so much influence, and they write these songs that are so elevated, and there's so many different genres evolved into one. And it's like a it's like a whole new open door. Like people are just so accepting of that. And like if you're gonna be stuck in your ways, like you're not wrong for thinking that, but like you're not growing with the times. You're not changing with the times. Like you're stuck in those
Exactly.
times,
Yeah.
and it's never going to be those times again because
Yeah.
it's not like time moves forward. It never moves backwards, and it never stands still. It always goes. And I think that was a big part of um how we were. And like I think Returners for me was such a record that had such a turning point in our band because we were touring all the time and we were traveling, and I would come back home after months and things would be different, and I would realize that like in my brain I'm this 20-year-old kid, but I'm 22 now. Years have passed. I come back home, things are different. Like
Yeah.
that grocery store that used to be there is different. And that's what Returners is about. It's returning to this like state and realizing that it's different.
That's
Like
yeah.
it's
I never thought
time
of
never
that.
stops moving, dude. Time never stops moving.
That's
Yeah,
fucking
Returners.
wild. Because
Yeah,
like you're
Returners.
right. If you go on like a year-long fucking tour, if you're touring for a year and you're only ever home for a couple of days, and it's just quickly see the missus or the kids or the dog or whatever, have a few days rest, get back out on tour. Yeah, by the time you come back and settle down, you're right. Everything else has moved in a year. You guys
Johnny
have-
has just realized that he's old as fuck, is what we're saying here.
No, but like
That's
it's
basically
an
what I was
interesting.
calling you, old fuck.
Yeah, thanks, dude. Appreciate it. But the funny thing about it is you've spent a year performing a snapshot in time from a year ago.
Yeah,
Wild
that's
concept.
dude.
Never thought of that.
That's how it is. Yeah, and that's what Returners came to be because I would return home. We were return places, and they were just not how we remembered them to be. They were just different. Everything was changing, and like when you're involved in a band and you're like in this bubble, like you're doing the same thing day in day out, day in day
Yeah.
out, day in day out, and it's like just because we're in this perpetual state doesn't mean the rest of the world is. And coming back home, that was a real shock to me. Like Fury, we were so busy, we were touring all the time, and like I remember just going home and being like, I don't recognize places that I grew up grew up, and it was crazy to me. Like like I remember one time coming back home and be like, oh, call up a buddy of mine, like, hey, let's go eat over here, and be like, dude, that place doesn't exist anymore. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, dude, they shut down like 2 months ago, and I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? I was like, because in my brain, it's like this is
That's the way
what
it
it is,
is.
but it's like,
Yeah.
dude, it's just it never stops. Time never stops moving forward, man. And I think that it's naive to think that you can stay the same because you change no matter what. Like every single second you're getting older and there's no way to stop that,
Got
there's
anything to
no
say,
way to
Nath?
reverse
Got
that.
anything to say, guys? Yeah. Hey, every single second, Johnny's getting twice as old. Fucking dicks.
We didn't say it.
I watched your beard hair get grayer as I was talking.
Hey, that's a touchy subject, man. I'm still plucking those out, all right?
That's
Dude,
right.
it's
I don't even have hair, so I lost it all. So that's what I get, like that's what, that's
Did you
another part of getting old. That's like, this sucks. Losing my hair sucks, but what am I going to do?
in the last 10 weeks since having my daughter, I have, without
Aged?
no, I'm not kidding. I've noticed how many more grays are coming through.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Stress.
yeah.
It's
How could you not?
insane.
Yeah, how could
I
you
don't
not,
know.
dude?
I thought, like, yeah, in the next 3 years, whatever might happen. No, 10 weeks, and I've literally
Yeah.
got twice the amount of grays.
Yeah, that's because
Bro,
all the
wait
stress
till you-
and not sleeping.
Wait until you have a 13-year-old who's in high school, and then you're like, oh, yeah, he's self-sustaining. This is great. This is so easy. He's a great kid. Fuck. Puberty. Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
Oh yeah.
Jody
And
just
you know what
mentioned
comes
he has
next?
a 13-year-old. He's old.
Yeah, and you know what comes next? They're gonna start driving, and you're gonna be like, "What?
Yeah.
You're gonna go drive to your friend's house? This is crazy." I have a 17-year-old stepdaughter, and it's like when I met her, she was 8, and now she's 17. It's like,
That's great.
Dude, I'm looking
it's
forward.
wild, man.
I'm looking forward to the buddy. Daddy's had a few too many beers. Can you come pick me up?
Oh yeah, it's nice.
Hey,
Like, hey,
funny
grab
story,
the ute and come pick me up. Let's go.
funny story talking about my son. So you were the first show that he ever went to as a 2-year-old. So I am,
No way.
dude, I am so hoping I can get him along to the Bleed From Within a Ghost Inside show because so the first
I was gonna say
band
I'll
he ever-
apologize to yelling at him when he was so young. I'm sorry for yelling at you when you were 2, man.
bro.
It worked out. He's a nice kid.
Yeah.
There you go.
So the first band he technically saw was Buried Tomorrow because they were playing before you guys. But yeah, you were the first show that he ever went to as a 2-year-old.
No shit.
Big old headphones on. So
Love that.
yeah,
Love that. That's
Excellent.
great. Well, I hope to meet him.
yeah, we'll bring him along.
He'll
Were
get
you guys-
anxiety and won't want to talk to you, but that's fine.
What city you guys in?
Sydney.
Sydney.
Or major city? Okay, yeah, cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
if you guys
closest
want to come
to
to Sydney, so just hit me up. We'll bring you guys out.
We'll sneak there regardless. We won't even let you know. We'll just pop up out of nowhere.
Oh shit, they're there.
Hey, I want to get back to the time moving, you changing, songs not being the same for you anymore. What are some of your older tracks that hold up for you and you still resonate with? Because as the vocalist who is the mouthpiece for those songs, a lot of the lyrics are very personal to you. What songs do you still have there that you play and you're like, this still hits me as hard as when I wrote it?
It's not a song we play too often anymore, but I think you mentioned it earlier. It was Shiner. That song I wrote about having a physical, tangible item that would be around after I wasn't, like Shiner is something that, like, when the band is done, when we're, I'm in my 60s, 70s, 80s, whatever, I can look back and be like, I did this. Like, this
Yeah.
is something that I was a part of. And like, I always thought that was a cool concept. And I was always like proud to have made a mark, and some people in the world, they grow up, they go to college, they get a job, they get a wife and kids, and and that's their life, and that's totally fine for them, and their offspring are what they have to carry on their legacy. But like, for me, like, I don't have any kids of my own, like I said, I have my stepdaughter, but like, I always have something that I can call back to and be like, this record is something that's going to live on past me. And I was always like, this is such a cool concept, cool vibe. So Shiner was always one that was really, really cool to be able to look back to and be like, yeah, that still makes sense. That's still cool. Like, the song itself maybe is, you know, it's a fan favorite, but I don't know if it holds up the same. You know, it's musically, it's definitely a more dated song, but it's still a cool song, and I think the vibe and the lyrics of that song are still important to me, anyway.
I want to know. You've talked about obviously you worked with Jeremy McKinnon and stuff like that. Who are a couple of dream artists that you would love to collaborate with? Whether it's the Ghost Inside stuff, you think they could do some justice to some of your tracks, or whether you just love to create something with them, who'd be a couple of the ultimates for you? Because you've
while
got
you
a
think of
very
that, I'm going to
eclectic
throw out
taste.
the song with Andrew, Come Back Kid, is my favorite song of yours. That song
No
hits me
way.
every single time. Yeah, that was on my, like, back when I used to play
Yeah.
sport more regularly. That was my pump up song every
Yeah,
time.
let's go. Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, we're excited. Like I said, Comeback Kid was a huge influence on our band. Like our band started out trying to sound like Bury Your Dead, Comeback Kid, Misery Signals. Like those were our influences, and that's
Yeah.
what we incorporated into our music. So like having him sing on a song was very full circle moment for us, you know.
Okay.
But as far as somebody that I think would be a cool collab for me, would be, and I don't know how this would work. I don't know if I would be on one of his songs or he'd be on one of my songs or whatever, but like we're all huge Deftones fans. So
Oh,
having Chino
yeah.
work with us in any capacity, like I've always loved that band. They're like new metal, like shoegazy, like just vibes, dude. It's just like that's the kind of shit that I love. And like it would be cool to have um be a part of that, and you know, just being from a fan standpoint. And I
Yeah.
think it's like super eclectic too. Like it's not something that you would think that would work, but it could be so sick, you know.
I can hear you
So
featuring in there, adding another level of oomph to their stuff.
would love that.
Yeah.
Their new record that just came out, it's so good too.
Oh, man. Favorite
Private
track?
music, so sick.
So sick, man.
Um, fuck, I don't know.
Have you listened
I'm
to it
so
yet?
bad with song
Yeah.
names. You just got me. I have to look
Oh, that's
on.
I feel like that's the current age of streaming too. You just like put things on and then you don't actually
Yeah,
pay attention.
I don't even know track titles at this point,
Yeah.
but um, I don't know. The first single, "My Mind Is a Mountain," I think is what it's called. That
Incredible.
one was always, I was always in love with that one. I'm like, this
Yeah.
is so sick. But um, but yeah, I think it'd be cool to that'd be a definite dream to work with Chino in any capacity.
I like that. Have you met them before?
Briefly, very briefly. We've played a couple festivals with them, and I ran into them at a record shop in Australia of all places.
Oh shit.
Oh,
And we actually have the same um UK publicist,
well,
Emma,
there's your in. Let's
who's
just start manifesting.
who's amazing. And I was texting her, I'm like, hey, Chino's in this record store. She's like, go say hi. And I'm like, no, I can't. I was like, it's so weird. She's like, go say hi. He's not a mean guy. And I'm like, all right. And like I have a picture of him, and I'm like, hey man, can I get a picture? And I'm like, but no, it's yeah,
It's a weird
that'd be
thing
the
though,
one for me.
dude, because you would have kids that have done the same thing to you, man.
And I'm sure, and I'm sure that if people knew how not cool I was, they wouldn't freak out. You know, it's like, yeah, I sing for this band, but I assure you, I'm not as cool as you think I am. I promise.
Dude, I've built my entire career off being much cooler on the internet than I am in real person. It's fine.
Dude, that's the way it is now. It's 2020. Welcome to 2025. You know, you got to
Yeah.
be cool on the internet, and then that's just how it is.
We're actually trying something new. We're being uncool on the internet, and it's working out so far. We're just being absolute dicks constantly, and people seem to like it.
That's the new meta, dude. You're coming full circle.
Yeah, my kids still
Starting
don't
this-
think I'm cool unless I start like Twitch streaming Roblox or something. I'm not cool.
Yeah.
You just gotta start slagging off everybody, dude, and then people be like, who's this? Why is this guy so hateful? He hates everything. That's gotta be your brand.
That's Johnny. Okay, man. We're not going to take up much more of your time, but genuinely, we are so pumped. Like, we were so disappointed on the Parkway tour that the show that we were at
Oh,
didn't get to have you. That was very disappointing for us.
Yeah, it was tough, man. It was rough. Like I mean, no one could have predicted it. Like Parkway had so much production, and that their show was so sick. And I know you guys stayed to watch it. Like was such a cool experience to be there for, and like obviously that took precedence over everything else. And like
It was also
traveling with that.
everything that could go wrong went wrong for them on that thing. Like Sydney, I don't know if you got the background of this. That day in Sydney in Olympic Park, there was 7 major events happening at the same time, and they just didn't plan for it. So like it was a
No
logistical
shit.
nightmare. Yeah, there was like
Yeah.
a major rugby union game. There was Comic-Con. There was like a swimming event. So
There was
I
another
left.
concert as well. There was like a pop concert of some
Yeah, there's
description
another
as well,
K-pop
yeah.
concert. I left to come down 3 hours before the band started, and I sat in the line to try and get a car park for 3 hours at the event
Oh
just to
my
get
God.
in. So I ended up
Yeah.
getting
So
in just before the band was supposed to start after leaving hours early.
yeah. So I mean, it was just a logistical nightmare on everything. Like having that much production, moving it from Brisbane to I think it was Brisbane to Sydney.
Sydney,
I think
yeah.
was the next one. It's like it just clearly wasn't possible. So we were there. We got the notice that we weren't going to be able to play, and then kind of the same thing going from Sydney to Melbourne. Like we weren't able to play the Melbourne show, and luckily for us, we were able to book a last minute side gig in Melbourne, and it was
Yeah,
so
stay
much
gold.
fun. Yeah, stay gold, dude. It was so wild. Like
Yeah.
we were like the second they were like, hey, you guys aren't able to play, we're like, all right, we're gonna book a sideshow. We weren't
I
able
was
to do it in
actually
Sydney.
with Jim when they asked him if he wanted to play because I'd come back to like
No,
say hi,
no shit.
and they're like, "Want to do
Yeah.
it?" He's like, "Of course we do." Like, yeah, let's make it
Yeah,
happen straight
sick.
away.
Yeah. Yeah. So weren't able to work it out in Sydney because we thought the same thing in Sydney, but we weren't there long enough to be able to like do it.
Yeah.
So we had enough preparation in Melbourne to be able to actually do it. And dude, it was. And I'm not making this up. It was like one of the most fun shows I've played in a long time. Like
I love that.
no barrier, just like actual mayhem, just like stage diving, singing along, like just like everybody in this tight 500 cap room, just sweating, just like it was so sick, dude.
There's your nostalgia trip.
Yeah, for real. There it is, man. And we played a couple songs that we didn't practice, and we definitely fucked up a lot. But the crowd was having a good time. I think we had we just did it. We were like, fuck it. Like
It's genuine.
people are
Yeah.
exactly. People know what they're coming into. Like they know it's like last minute sideshow. Like it's gonna be sick. So we did it, and yeah, it was a great time. But back to the point, to this tour, we're excited to be able to come back to Sydney and play proper because we didn't get to play on that tour. We didn't even get to do a sideshow. And even if we did play, it looks like we wouldn't even have, some fans might not even have made it inside to see us play because
Fully.
of everything. So it's like we're going from, playing early for half an hour on, a Parkway tour. It was their tour. Like we were just lucky to be a part of it. But like now we're able to go and do a headline show and, really put in the effort to have all these songs and like just run the gamut of stuff and just really vibe. So couldn't be looking forward to it anymore. Like, man, I love Australia and love Bleed From Within, and I'm just excited to go down there and hang.
Dude, we can't
Okay,
wait.
dude. Yeah, very, very excited. Very keen to see you. And
it's coming around real fast.
Yeah.
So we'll see you.
Oh yeah,
not too far
it's not
away.
long. Yeah, we're doing Japan before, so we're playing a
cool.
festival in Japan, and then we're playing a headline show in Osaka, and then we have like a couple days off, and then we fly to Fremantle, I think is the first show,
you're
or
starting
Perth, somewhere in
Perth?
Perth.
Yeah,
We start in
okay.
Perth. Yeah, so we're going Perth and then going down around to Brisbane, basically.
Yeah, okay.
So we don't get to go to Japan too often, so I think we're gonna spend some days off there and then fly into Perth and then start the tour. So should be sick.
That sounds like a great way of doing it. And also, like the weather in Perth is going to be pretty spectacular by the time you get there. It's just starting to warm.
I love it. Yeah, because we ended the Parkway tour in Perth, and we're starting our headline tour in Perth. So it's like it's cool to like go this way and then go this way.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
it's just,
mix it up.
yeah.
For sure.
All right, brother.
Good
Well, we
times.
look forward to seeing you real soon, and we'll catch up then.
Easy, man. Love hanging with you guys. Love chatting, and excited for Australia.
Awesome.
Thanks so much, man. Appreciate you.
Thanks,
See
brother.
See you guys later.